Making some jam. This is gooseberry jam. First thing I've done, got some jam jars. I've bleached them, washed them. Keep your lids as well to match. These ones are draining after the bleaching and the drying. Make sure they're rinsed out and thoroughly dry inside. And the gooseberries, this is what I've picked over the last few days, and these are your red gooseberries. This is like late July, so basically I'm going to weigh 1 kilogram, make sure there's no bad ones in there. I've set the scale, my electronic scale, and you can zero it. That's basically with the colander on it, so I've zeroed that on tare, and then it's a laborious job with preparing the gooseberries, because here's the gooseberries here, and basically you've got to make sure there's no leaves on them. Any of them that are very soft or have already burst then need to be put to one side, and allowing for the weight of my colander that I'm putting these in, I'll need 1 kilogram of fruit. So I carry on basically just picking them, and then this first batch I'm going to try them without cutting the gooseberries up. So basically I've just made sure that they're all not bruised, etc. And I've got 1 kilogram here of the red gooseberries, and I'm just going to look at. I've put 200 ml of water in the bottom of my jam maker, and as you can see, it's ready to go. And I've decided not to chop these gooseberries up. We'll see what happens then. And I'm just looking at the instructions for what program. It's programmed for this jam maker, and it's for 15 minutes initially, with the 200 ml of water added to the kilogram of fruit, and the lid on, and there's an air gap as you can see underneath there, and away we go. As you can see, it's churning the gooseberries round. Quite exciting really to see how they turn out first. You can hear it bubbling away once it's done the last of the time. It's on the last minute now, as you can see on the scale, and using simple kitchen tools you can start pulping the gooseberries yourself basically. It is bubbling away. Once it's beat, you press OK. After 15 minutes, then you've got to go around pulping your gooseberries in the 200 ml of water. Then you've got to weigh out. I'm going to do this in 2 job lots. You've got to weigh out 1 kilo of sugar. So I'm just doing that at the moment. I've just added my kilo of sugar, and then I've got to set the clock again. I'm just checking how much time I want to give it. Press OK. It comes up with the time there, and then I've got to put the lid on. I'll let this go for 7 minutes, and the time is going to tell me when it's ready. And I've helped to stir the sugar in myself, and basically then you need a teaspoon then to check on progress after this. You need to, after 7 minutes has finished bleeping, at this stage you need a teaspoon to be taken out of the jam, then put onto a saucer, and basically wait for a couple of minutes and see whether or not this will set or not. If it doesn't, you'll have to put this on for a bit more time. Another test is the drip test off the spoon to see whether it's getting more viscous over time. After your 2 minutes is up, then you'll know whether or not you'll have to put this on for more. My opinion is this will have to have a bit more time, possibly another 3. That's the bleeper to tell me that the time's up. Doing the test again on the viscosity of the jam, see whether it's going to set or not in a couple of minutes time. And now, after an extra time, it's probably had in total about 12-13 minutes. It's now setting correctly, and after 2 minutes that will be properly set, so it's ready now for putting into a Pyrex container and then into the jam jars. And this should be enough to make, say, 4 or 5 large jars, but I've got some smaller ones, so I'll see how much I can. This shows the jam properly set finely. Even gave it an extra 2 on top of what I said, but that's the consistency you want. I don't want it any thicker than that. You've got some lumps in there, you know, where it's setting more viscous, and then it's the fruit, and then it's ready now for putting in the jars. Okay, and it's then poured into a Pyrex jar, straight out of the jam maker here. There's more in there, so basically first. Okay, so I'm pouring into a large jam jar at the moment. You can see it's of the right consistency to go into the jar as pouring it in the Pyrex jar. Okay, and there's enough to make a little jar as well, so I've filled 2 large ones and a little jar. It's already setting. Cut round your lid, you're left with a circle there, your large one as well. You can see, and that's a small one there. This is just to go on your jam at the top. In order to fit, cutting just inside circles, because don't forget that's the outside. Wax is best for this, but to make sure it fits correctly on the jam, just make it slightly smaller than the lid diameter for your jam jar. And there you go. And then you've got your cling film to go on top of that. Helps it seal even more. And get your lid. And these ones are the special locking lids, so that will create, as it cools down, then the any airspace on top will contract as it cools down, and even help the seal even more. So there you go, that's the first jar of don't forget it will be very hot, so take care when you're putting your lids on. You've got your wax paper, and then I've put cling film on, and then the lid on top. But this is my testing jam. You can test that myself and try it on a bit. Once your jam's made, there's your 3 jars there. So one's a 740 gram, one's a 500, one's a 125. Jam sold by weight, so I'm not quite sure how much you've got, but obviously it was a kilo of the fruit. Then you're ready to make your next batch of your gooseberry jam, and away you go. Your appliances are all cleaned and ready, so I'll set to work making my next lot of jam. Hope you enjoy.